Keohohou. Okay, perfect.
Only 13 letters in our alphabet, and I've got most of them.
Amen to that. Marianne, put your hand up, even though I can see what's going on here.
Okay.
She's coming.
All right, I'm going to hit go live.
I'm watching you. And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it is the Network Marketing Leadership Show, and it is a great day. We are empowering women and men, so don't make any mistake about that. And I am telling you, I have had this woman on my show for so many years, and I love her so much. I love her daughter. I love her stand. For 20 years out of Hawaii, she has been empowering women in network marketing. She's recently kind of did a little pivot, and she's including men a lot more. But Nikki, Keohohou, is just incredible. I love her with all of my heart. She is smart. She is driven. She gives all the credit away all the time. I've never seen anything like it. But her whole gig is helping you. And I wanted to do this show. We've got Network Marketing Most Powerful Women with Marianne Worre coming on live next week. And it is going to be a virtual event also on next Tuesday morning. So I wanted Nikki on here before that to set the stage for what's going on, because men are stuck in paralysis, fear, inaction, and women are looking at each other going, we got to help these guys. We got to really, really save the planet. And I think Nikki's just the person to talk about it. Nikki, how are you?
I am doing great. How about yourself?
I have never been better. You look so fantastic, which is not unusual. What is going on with your association? Not only did you change the name of it from the direct selling women's whatever to association or alliance to worldwide instead of women, right? So you've kind of become all encompassing, and it's really grown twice as big as a result of you making that decision.
The Direct Selling World Alliance came about because we had men kind of like sneaking into our events. That they put on a wig and thought, oh, nobody will notice me. Well, we did. But we wanted the men to feel that they were welcome. When we first started DSWA over 20 years ago, it was women were underserved in the marketplace, weren't on stages, weren't getting the same awards and recognition, and they were telling me about it, and I thought, well, let's see what we can do. At that time, when we launched, we were 46% women in the direct selling profession, and today it has grown like doubled, almost doubled. And I'm so happy, because what's happening is that the women are getting that recognition and growing their business, and many couples are working together, and the woman still participates. She doesn't stand behind him waiting for that recognition. She just gets it. It's wonderful.
From what I've seen, more men typically have been standing behind the women until it was time to get the credit, and then they kind of stepped in front and grabbed the microphone. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I've seen that I've been in this business for 30 years, and it is a stage populated by so many men. And if they would just use the ratios that you just alluded to, 70% of all people on the stage should hypothetically be women, just by virtue of the amount of people in it. Would you agree?
I would agree. And I think different behavioral styles too, not just that they're a woman, but maybe a strong woman and then a gentle woman. And so showing that there are all kinds of people that can be successful in this business. It's not one style or one prominent sex.
COVID-19, the pandemic, what's going on right now? People petrified. Men absolutely losing, and I keep going to men and women, and I don't even like that. So I'm going to stop that, because that's horse maneuver. And people are so petrified because their identity was their job. Their identity was their house. Their identity was their resume. Their identity was everything but who they are as human beings. And what's most important for all of us, whatever gender we are, and there's several, what we have to remember is that we are not all those things. We are our true self. And what you're really good at is pulling that out of people, correct?
Yes. We want people to see who they are being, not so
Mhm.
much all about what you're doing and what you have. It's in your heart. And so when something happens like this, one party maybe gets laid off at a job, the other party is building the home-based business, and the person that had the job, then that was their identity, sometimes gets lost in the whole equation. Whereas if we engaged them at that time and brought them into the fold, teaching them what we really do, one, they'll have more respect for what we're doing, and two, it could hold the whole family together. This is the time to engage your family, not try and do it all yourself and save the world. Engage your family, get them to participate, understand what you're doing and what you're about.
Yeah, and become your best you. This is your chance where you don't have all those outside distractions called a time clock or a boss or anything like that. Most of us are stuck at home. Most of us are stuck in this spot called who am I really? And what do I really want my life to look like? And do I really want to go back to that cubicle? Or is there a way for me to reinvent my life, do a complete pivot, become a potter, become an artist, my wife, an organic gardener this week, whatever it might be, I might just be able to pull it off from home, doing a home-based business at which you are an expert at teaching people, right?
Thank you. And yes, I believe that that's going to happen, because a lot of people thought, just like their parents did, I need to get this job, I need to work at it for 25 years, and then I'll get a fake gold watch and it'll be wonderful and I'll retire and have lots of money. Wrong. That's not what's happening. So people are kind of figuring out, this shook them up a little bit.
Yeah.
This shook up those steady eddies that have had that same job forever, to find out they are dispensable. They can go without you. And guess what? We're not going to fire ourselves. We like ourselves. We're going to stay employed for a long time because it's our choice.
I've been lucky enough. And I came out of the stock brokerage business, the airplane business, the restaurant business, completely populated by men in that glass ceiling for women. And out of that, I've been able to be around people that I think you know, like Rhonda Anderson from Creative Memories, and a lot of people that just did unbelievably gigantic things on their own, just absolutely bringing women up with them away from traditional business. And I think it used to be something that like an anomaly, you know, it was like that thing that your other spouse did. But now it's become like front row mainstream news. And this is the time for everybody to grab their power, right?
I totally believe that. And I've got to say something, that I'm very pleased that they honored the 1099 people to at least be able to get unemployment if things were down for their company. Now, some of the companies right now are just rocking, best months ever. My niece just had her best month ever last month out of however many years she's been in there. She pivoted early. She learned how to do online training, online shows, all this whole thing with Zoom and other tools that we have available to us. We all need to grab that and run. What I say is, you know, now is the time. If you're not earning, if your company isn't doing very well right now, or you've lost a job, if you're not earning, it's a time to be learning right now. And if you are earning, you want to learn more so you can take those earnings up, make more money, and enjoy life more, have more choices.
This profession provides the ability to do that. It takes a long time. It's extraordinarily hard work. Most people fail at it. So let's get that out of the way. So the FTC that's watching this show doesn't think that we're giving a bunch of happy baloney at people. It is not a lottery ticket. It is an absolute different way of doing business based on relationship, connectedness, authenticity, vulnerability, being able to find your tribe and monetize that tribe, which is all it's about. All those skills you can learn, becoming a better human being and learning how to actually show people how they can become better human beings is pretty much what this business is all about, right?
It's all about relationships, how to build those long-lasting relationships, caring about one another. You know, I think sometimes I came from the corporate world, both in direct selling and out of direct selling. And I know that many times as you're climbing that ladder, you're moving up, there are other people trying to pull you right back down. And that doesn't happen in our business. People that realize there's more than enough, and the more I can give, the more I will receive, always excel in this business. Be the person who continues to lift people up and know, yes, it is work. This doesn't happen by itself. I never tell people things like the product sells itself. Why would you say that? Why do we need you then? That doesn't work for you, for me. So the other one they say a lot of is you don't need to work so hard. You wake up and you got money in your account. Don't say those things. We want people to know a business is work. I've worked just at DSWA for the last 20 years, 20. It isn't an easy thing. You just keep getting up and going again and reinventing yourself and staying up with the times. Somebody asked me just recently, Nikki, how do you stay relevant? How do you stay in the know of what's happening? The people that get so into their little niche and don't know what's going on around them are kind of lost. Like they haven't been to a meeting in many years. They haven't been on a Zoom call for a company. They haven't been around the sales force. They don't know what's happening today and the challenges that people have. Because a big part of our business is coaching. We hear those things from people. In our coach schools, we have folks that come to us and say things like, you know, I feel lost. I'm feeling unsure. I'm feeling like it's not the same. There's a lot of change. The word change sends people into orbit. So I'm just saying, I hear what's happening with people, and what we want to do, all of us, every leader in this profession, is to step up, step out, put your hand out and lift somebody to move beyond their current circumstances. We aren't stuck. I say I'm on staycation. Now, I do live in Hawaii, so it's pretty beautiful out there, but I'm on a staycation. I am not trapped. I am not in isolation. It's really nice to be home for a change.
Glenn and Marianne Head live there. Richard and Kimmy Brooke live there. Mark J. and Devine live there. I know more unbelievable network marketers that live in Hawaii, where there's no people, really. It's pretty isolated. For so many successful people to be from Hawaii and getting up early in the morning, or whatever it is, it's, you know, whatever the time zone is for you, 3-4 hours, it's just amazing to me. And to see you completely generating it from Hawaii or wherever you're from is inspirational to me. The website is what?
DSWA.org, Direct Selling World Alliance, DSWA.org. And right now we have a special for 3 months free of membership. So it's DSWA.org/membership. Put that in, you'll go right to the page.
We're going to take a break, but you know what you're going to get with that membership is this new app that they've got that is going to make your pants want to get up and dance. We're going to talk about the website. We're going to talk about the app. We're going to talk about all of this right after this break. But this break's important. We've been on the Genesis Communication Network for now over a decade, and Ted Anderson, who owns it, pipes us up to all those radio stations for free. I love him. Listen to their ads, please. We'll be back right after this. And we're back. You can see my background changed. We can see Adrienne Chenault is here. I can look at my phone. Adrienne can talk to Nikki. I can have a cigarette if I smoked. Instead, I'll just have a cup of delicious coffee. I am a recovering network marketer, a recovering alcoholic and network marketer. Would you still like to have a cup of coffee with me? Nobody. I am everybody's worst enemy because I don't drink. I go to AA every day, and I'm a multi-level marketer. So who could, I mean, two things stacked against me all the time. So I have to develop deep relationships or I would be an abject failure. Hello, Adrienne Chenault.
What's not to love here? Recovering alcoholic and network marketer. Hey, Nikki, welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Adrienne. Glad to be here.
So Dad was talking about this a little bit before the break. We are phenomenally excited because we are wanting to plug into what you guys are doing with the DSWA and show people how powerful it is to use something that will help you to develop relationships in the way that keeps you out of this trap of coming across like an insincere person, like somebody who's just, you know, throwing people against the wall to see what sticks, who is, you know, just not really knowing what they're doing and thus not getting the results, because really the results come when you care about people, where you can show up as your true authentic self, and when you're able to follow up and stay in front of people, because most people are not going to be ready to make a decision the first time you talk to them about it. And so to put a tool in people's hands that have you able to show up as your authentic self, to remember people's stories, and then reminding yourself to follow up with them and to remind them what you loved about them because you listened, that's where magic starts to happen, right?
I agree completely. And I think people forget. People don't want to know how much you know. They want to know how much you care. It's an old saying, but we still have people presenting, going on for hours with all of their stuff versus finding out about the other person.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I think it's a function of that you know, to some degree, you just keep rattling on about yourself because you missed the memo about paying attention to what they were saying to you. And so you don't even have that in your head. And when you can get that reversed and you put things in the right order and you figure out what's in it for them and let what's in it for you take care of itself, which it will, that's where things really start to move, because people are obviously, you know, we're all running this tape, right? We all want to know what's in it for me. And so if you can take what you have and figure out how that connects to what's in it for them, you know, that's the story of everything you've done, right, Dad?
That's 100% right, you guys. And, you know, if I want to get that garden in the yard done or the dog run cleaned up, all I have to say to my wife is, let's cold call today. Because my wife won't cold call because that's just a numbers game. And she's got relationships and she doesn't do it like I do it. Like call 50 guys and try to get them to do something that they probably don't want to do. My wife just picks up the phone and calls people like Denny Robinson, or she'll call Taylor Thompson, or she'll call somebody, Lisa Grossman, or she'll call any one of these iconic network marketers and move the ball that way. And what I love about that, and what I'm completely jealous of, is being able to slow down and love like crazy, then love more, instead of being this complete absolute lunatic that's got some sort of self-imposed quota in my head of talking to so many people instead of just talking to a few people well. Right, Adrian?
100%. And it's so, what's amazing is that once you start learning how to talk to just a couple people well, all of a sudden you've got all these people that want to talk to you, and you know how to talk to them well because you become this attractive personality. You become this person that is, you know, it's easy to pick up the phone to somebody that's influential, somebody that might, you know, you might have been intimidated to talk to about your business in the past, because you know how to speak into what they want instead of just having this attitude of just trying to get people. And so we're gonna throw up a link in the comments on Facebook here for you to see what we're talking about and how it works. You're gonna love it. Go check it out for free right now. It's contactmapping.com/action, and I'll throw that in the link right now. Thanks.
All right. And we're back. It is Nikki and I, and we are talking about the DSWA. And if you didn't go to that during the break, I'm mad at you, because I'm telling you, they're giving you 3 months free, which is unbelievable. They're also going to give you some access to this app. I don't know if is it free? Does it go along with it?
Yes, it does.
Holy mackerel. And you guys are lighting it up with the app.
All the membership, everything is on there. They get a weekly, every Friday, we call it Aloha Friday. If you've ever visited and been in Hawaii, Aloha Friday is a big day because everybody, when people went to work, they wore their Aloha attire. And it's kind of like casual, get ready for the weekend. So we chose Aloha Friday for this new training video every week, because that means you can relax over the weekend and learn and be ready for the next week, have the inspiration to go forth. So lots of tools that happen on this app that we are very excited about.
And is that creating a lot? How long has the app been out?
Just about a week and a half, and we did it slowly. We did it slowly, just in small groups. And then we have some leaders that are getting ready this week to send it out to their teams, let them know what's going on with it. And, you know, a big thing we've worked on actually for 2 years is, because we are a very mature association, we were able to get insurance, group insurance rates for our members. And right now with this virus, many times the spouse carried the insurance, and when that person's laid off, so the insurance goes, and to pick up COBRA is very expensive. We have insurance that has been figured out specifically for people in our profession, and you can do a concierge service. They ask questions. I trained the people, all the agents, on how to ask questions and listen to understand what that person's needs are, not to sell them, to give them what they want. So that concierge service, there's an 800 number on the website. You can find it under membership. But the idea is that that insurance program is going to save people a lot of money, and it already has. And have many other benefits too.
That's included in the free membership.
Yes, you pay for the insurance, but you have access to group rates.
Okay, so you guys listen. That's wonderful. But you didn't come on here to hear about insurance. You came on here. That's a side benefit, as is the app. But the training of the experience of Nikki and her daughter and their crew, and the unbelievable events that they put on for 20 years. These women have gone before you. They know where the potholes are. They know how to get you trained and into action, and you can't beat the price. Free's a pretty hard price to beat. The only thing they could do better than that would be pay you to go to the site and download the app and play the game. And literally, they are going to pay you because your business is going to increase, improve, your relationships are going to improve. So go to the website and pull down the app. You got 90 days to test drive this baby. It will be cool, right?
Yes, and it's only $8.95 a month after that, or $89 a year. So it's a very big savings for people. And here's the other interesting thing about this is, remember I said about no better time to be learning so that you can be earning more. We had people, this was sad, we had people that called and said, Nikki, I've been a member for 10 years and, you know, my husband lost his job. I'm not doing well in my business and I have to drop my membership right now so we can feed our kids. Broke my heart. So we were telling people, listen, we're just going to give you 3 months free. We want you to stay inspired through this, to keep learning, to grow. And there may be some benefits that you could use right now that could save you money. So we're just going to do that for you. And then all these people were calling about this, and we said, no, we're just going to give it to everybody. So we're giving it to existing members so they don't have to pay for 3 months, which is good for them, and people that are just out there never even knew we were there. So it's our way of supporting people through a difficult time. I think people remember you when you were there when it was a little tough. You know, and so that's why right now in your business, just call people to check in on them. Put a little sticker on your phone that says, call because I care. I call because I care. And just call people, see how they're doing. Make that relationship connection with them. It's not, did you place your order this month? That's not what we're calling for. It's to stay connected. And that's what the app that these guys are doing does too.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And that's exactly what at contactmapping.com, that's what they do. And if you want to just have a perfect marriage, this is the one. So this is what's so great about live radio is we're going to another break right now. Thank you very much, Genesis Communication Network and Ted Anderson. We'll be back right after this.
Thanks.
And we're back. Steve Taubman, I think you know him, the hypnotist.
Oh, I do.
Always listening to the show, probably with that cute dog. You know, there it is, contact mapping.
Yes.
If you remember Steve Taubman, you remember his dog. And if you go, hey, Steve, you're a great presenter, he's going to roll his eyes and say thanks. If you say to Steve, you are an unbelievable hypnotist, he's going to roll his eyes. You ask Steve about his dog and you own him. That's exactly right. Or you about your daughter.
Oh, yes.
And all we do is try very, very hard in my world to remember the thing most important to the person across the table and get my agenda out of there. So going to Adrian, isn't that kind of what you built, was an app for that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's what you just see people's entire countenance change when you do that, because we have these tapes that just play over and over of the kind of conversations that we have with people around business, even stuff as simple as how are you doing? Or, my new favorite, unfortunate, it's sad that these things kind of become a trope, but it's like, how are you doing in these uncertain times is like the newest version of how are you doing? And it's like, we just end up saying the same things over and over again. And we have our canned speech that we give to people when they give us a canned question. And when you can instead ask somebody, really how they're doing, and you can ask it based on what you remember about them, all of a sudden they're opening up to you again. They're opening up to you about what you want to talk to them about in the first place, whether that's your business or your product or whatever it is. And the whole thing just changes. It's a totally different kind of conversation.
It is.
No doubt about it.
People find you interesting when you are interested.
Amen to that. No, I have conversations with people all the time, and the entire time I'm just firing questions at them and basically interrogating them. And at the end of the conversation, I read their life story back to them. And I said, how do you rate this conversation on a scale of 1 to 10? And they go, this is the best conversation I've ever had with anybody. And it's because all they did was talk about themselves. And that's the most important thing, is get out of you and into them, document it. What she said was, people are so sick and tired of being thrown up upon as by network marketers. If you'll just back off, gather information, love like crazy, then love more, and then come back to the conversation and fill that hole that they told you they had in their life 3 days ago, whether it was money, time, or health. You're number one, you're going to be a better human being, and you're probably not going to go to hell. And number two, you're also going to be able to avoid that rejection that we're all desperately afraid of. That's me. I'm petrified of rejection. So I ask enough questions that I know what they're going to say yes to. I know what they're going to say no to. I wait 3 days. I ask them the yes answers questions, and I never bring up what they already told me they're going to say no to. And it's unbelievable what happens to me. That's what I learned from you, Nikki. That's what we do as humans, good humans, versus that whole bad rap this profession gets because we're broadcasters, not receivers, right?
You got it. You know, people ask me all the time, Tom, why don't you teach about how to handle objections? And what I say is, don't create them.
Boom.
Do not create an objection with a question, because people don't object to their own answers. So if all you're doing is presenting and telling and telling and telling and telling, they've got lots of room to object. Yep. So it's a real shift in our approach to people. People know, and the old way, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was this. They know they've been founded. They don't like it. Stop using those old school tactics and just be with people.
Stop tricking people, right, Adrian?
Man, that was good.
Yeah.
It's so true.
That was all of it.
The whole, you hate, you're terrified of their objection. They're terrified that you're pitching them. The whole thing is just stupid. Instead, really listen to what they want to buy. Present it back to what they're going to tell you what they want to buy. You sell them what they told you they wanted to buy, and you don't talk to them about what they said they didn't want to buy. And if you ask the right questions, you're going to know the answer to all of that stuff before you ever get there. And this thing we have called the Coffee Shop Interview, which is an ebook that you can download for free, that, by the way, is headed to #1 on Amazon Kindle in a very short period of time.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Which would be awesome. Is that this is what it is. It's the roadmap to ask the right questions. That's all you're doing. And so go to contactmapping.com/CSI and grab that. And it's just going to blow you away, isn't it?
Free ebook. Okay. And we are back. We are having a blast today. I am telling you, and I just saw from Dave Thompson, I've had more men text me and tell me that they joined the DSWA than women. So go to dswa.org, you guys and girls, and get on here, because I'm telling you one thing right now, they're going to give you all kinds of training, and training is it. But what I love about them versus so many of the other stuff, the other trainers, is they're training you on relationships first. And obviously, all the other training has to be something you're paying attention to. But if you become that great human being and you can let people feel safe, that they can trust you, that you love them, and that they belong, you're going to have them. And that's what Nikki trains. And that's the most beautiful part of what I think you've done for 20 years, don't you?
Thank you. We've worked very hard at what we've been doing. And we know that coaching is an important part of the training aspect. So we have a school where we actually teach people how to coach. And on top of that, what happens is if you only are training, this is good for everybody to know, because anybody that's a leader that's listening today, you do a lot of training, and it takes training have people understand the product and what things are about. But if you're a good trainer and you've got all 9 components of being a great trainer with your voice, your stories, your compelling content, all the rest of it, average retention and application of what you said is 22%. 22. When you have coaching skills, the art of asking questions and listening, built in with your training, average retention and application is 88%. 88%. 66% swing in what people actually do with what you teach. It's an important aspect. We got to learn how to do this.
And what I did, and my whole revelation, which is so disappointing, so sickening, so sad, is I have finally recognized that I learned how to be Nikki 30 years ago. And I went to AA, I went to the Landmark Forum, I did all this personal development work. I went from this arrogant, selfish maniac into a pretty touchy-feely, fuzzy man. And then I started doing network marketing and learned all the skills from GoPro and the 4-year career and Beach Money and Mark J and Rob Sperry and Fraser Brooks. And I learned all that training. And then somehow I thought all that training was more important than being the better pure person. And then I went back to what you're doing, and I went back to what had made me successful. And it wasn't being the smartest guy in the room. It was being the most loving idiot in the room. But I forgot all that, and I kind of lost 10 steps until now I'm back because of you.
Oh, I'm so glad you're back.
I love you. True story.
Thank you very much.
True story.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I think I'm a girl.
I don't think so.
So, yeah.
I think you are one of the enlightened men who has a sensitive side to understand people. And you follow that. See, we teach heart-centered listening.
Yeah.
People that listen with the head, it's internal listening. And with internal listening, you're thinking about what you're going to say next. How do I overcome this objection that's getting ready to come at me? How can I let them know how smart I am so they know they need me to be successful? Internal listening is where judgment lies also. So if you're practicing internal listening, you're in your head, you haven't let your heart step into that yet. What's happening is you become judgmental of others. And then you kind of become like you look at people and think, well, they're probably not going to do it. They're probably not going to do it. Not a good place to be.
Yeah.
Be with people. Be present. That's the gift. Be present with people.
And we're so busy figuring out what we're going to say next. We're not even in the conversation because we're listening to this whack job on our shoulder who's always wrong. And I take with me everywhere I go instead of just being present and in the moment. And I know you guys know my wife's a Buddhist. And so she's like really present to a point that it's aggravating, but it's really, really so good because you gotta be there. You gotta be with people and you gotta put your phone aside, everything else. And it's just nothing on the table, you and the person across the table or across the Zoom. And that's where the magic happens, right?
Yes, wherever you are. People know if you really do care or if they are a prospect. In our business, we have the hunters and the gatherers. The hunters are the people that get the shotgun out and they ready, aim, fire, drag them in and see what happens. The gatherers plant seeds.
Yeah.
They water, they nurture, they get to know the person. They find out what makes that person unique, what makes them want to do whatever it is that they're doing. When you are a gatherer, you gather people. It may not be today, but people know when you are authentic, and you've used that word a lot. That means being real. You don't put on a show. You're not this way with that one and that way with this one. And this is you. This is who you are. People know what you see is what you get. They want to be in your space. So become a gatherer and just draw people in. They want to be with you.
If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a human being, during the break, and the break's a long way off, go to DSWA.org and join this thing for the free 90 days. After that, it's $8.95 a month. They're not after your money. They're after your heart because they want to teach you to do this business. So we are absolutely making this planet a more loving, connected place. And there's never been a better time than right now for us to do this. And Nikki is on the forefront. And this association is big time. I went to one of your conventions. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
My gosh, yeah. And that was before it was fashionable.
Yes, that's right.
I didn't wear a wig, but I'll tell you what, I was scared. And that was the catapult for me to literally go to the most powerful women event too, because I found that I was more connected with all that heart-centered stuff of building than I was at GoPro for Men or all that other stuff that was pretty much populated by men that was like, you know, I'm better or I'm bigger or I'm smarter or I'm richer or whatever than you. All those women were trying to lift other women up. And it was such a beautiful thing. And that's why I went, and you changed my life. I swear you did. You don't believe me, but I'm telling you, you've had a major impact on me. And you scare me, actually.
I scare you?
Oh, yes. I swear. You know, in fact, hooking back up on this show, you know, I always have you in the back of my mind because I'm in awe of you. But I never think that somebody as important as you is going to have time to come on this show. And you being on here means the world to us. I promise you. I told Adrian that before. I said, this woman is the real deal.
Oh, thank you so much. See, we all want to be where we can make a difference for other people.
Yeah.
So part of that is find out who are those difference makers in our world and join forces. It's hard to do it alone. I never wanted to do it alone. And I love that my daughter is my business partner and watching her grow and what she, by the way, you don't know this, but she was named Outstanding Mother of the Year for the state of Hawaii. I mean, I was so proud of her. No. Had a big celebration for her. It's based on being a good mother, being a business person, a successful business person, and community service. And she does all three. And those were really, that being there, I'm a speaker and I speak all over the world. Used to. I'm now speaking through Zoom all over the world. And I was supposed to talk after her. I couldn't talk. I was just crying. I was like, it was such a beautiful thing. And so her daughter, who was 16, 17, goes up there and talks on behalf of our family. But I was so touched because of who she has become is because what she's been around. So for all of you that are out there, when you are in this profession, we have children of a different breed. Look at Adrian. We have children of a different breed. They see people. They care about people. They want to be difference makers. Don't ever feel guilty when you leave your children to go to an event or to do something. You're going to come back because you're going to learn more that you can pour into their lives. We all have a responsibility in this world to care enough about other people, to give what we can, and to lead with our passion and purpose so they have role models. Because guess what? Some children have no role models in their lives. So we all can be an example for our nieces, our nephews, our neighbors, everybody around us. Don't be afraid to stand up and own your strength. And it's not force. There's two differences. Strength comes from inside of you. You can be an empowering person with strength. Force, you're trying to make somebody do something they really don't want to do. So we go into the convincing mode. And when we are convincing, we're losing, folks. Everybody loses. Not a good place.
I sat down with my daughter yesterday about racism and sexism and all those things that her dad could be better at. And she had the most deep, real conversation with me about how to be a better human being than you would ever believe. And it isn't like I was far off the mark, but I make dumb jokes and all the stuff that probably old men do and shouldn't. And she just was so straight on point because she's done the work of being a better human being. And she had the courage to look her dad in the eye and say, Dad, you and I are going to be great friends for the rest of your life, but let's really be great friends. And let's have the ability to call each other out, like Maya Angelou, or like maybe Oprah Winfrey, people like that, that really have the courage to say, you know what, that doesn't really work for me. That really wasn't that funny. And I so appreciate that because I am telling you, this COVID-19 thing where I've been locked at home, I've been able to reflect on the person that I am and the person that I want to be and where I have to go to be the person I want to be. and it's toward people like Nikki. And I just want you all to understand that we can all be better and we can all be bigger. And there is a lot of work to do. And this is the time to be able to do it because it's open for us, right?
That's exactly right. And I'll tell you the skill, it's another coaching skill, compassionate feedback. How to give compassionate feedback without having the person defend their position or just say, okay, just go ahead and tell me, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So compassionate feedback, there's like 10 steps to it. But once you get that, you can be real with people. You can speak your truth. The other day on the phone, somebody made a comment about somebody that I really care about. And I said, may I share with you another perspective? Now, he could have said no, and I wouldn't have gone on. But this is one question you get to ask. It's a yes or no question. And if he says no, stop. But I said, may I share with you another perspective? And I said, I've known this person for 15 years very well. I've never known them to do something like that in any instance that I've been around them. And I want you to know, do your own investigation and see what you find out, not what you've heard.
Oh,
and he goes, Nikki, I just heard, you're right, I heard it. I should have never said it without it being a fact that happened to me. So I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for myself. It's called, for women, it's called being gracefully assertive. Beautiful. Gracefully assertive. You don't need to run people over with a truck. You don't need to bash them over the head. Be assertive though, and with grace and with love and with compassion.
That's so beautiful. All right. Guess what? We get to take another break. This is the Genesis Communication Network. This is the Network Marketing Leadership Show. We are dancing. Go to DSWA.org right now and join 90 days free. You get the app, you get the access to the insurance, the whole tamale. We'll be right back. And we're back. We got little Adrian with us again. Uh-oh, did we lose him? All right, that's exciting.
I'm here. Marianne, you got to turn my video back on for me.
She will. All right, you guys, contactmapping.com. We're going to do a webinar this Thursday. For those of you that are listening today, those of you that listen next Saturday, you just missed it. So, but we're during the break, so you won't hear this. So what's very, very cool about that is you want to listen to these webinars because Adrian and I, we are reinventing communication. We are reinventing the way that human beings really pay attention to each other. They interview people. They document that conversation. And what Nikki said, which was really profound, Adrian, I don't know if you logged on to it, was she was talking about follow-up and didn't realize follow-up. She said, instead, you call, and right now I've got 23 follow-ups in my phone right now that I need to do yet today. And every one of those people, not one of those people is here, Scott and Audrey Johnson. They're not going to get a sales pitch. They're going to get they're going to get a phone hug from Tom. They're going to get a text hug from Tom. Something's going to happen to those two people that they realize they're important to me until such time that something cracks in their armor where they want to call me back and maybe do business with me. All I do is drip on people with love every day. And as a result, those gentle nudges have turned into an unbelievable life for me just because I put their agenda ahead of mine, which is what contact mapping is all about. Right, Adrian?
Totally is. And it's amazing how that power, so often what happens when you start doing that is you call somebody or text somebody and they tell you, oh man, I was just about to call you. I was just thinking about you. I was just going to whatever to you. And that is their timing having changed, but they probably weren't going to call you or email you or whatever had you not done that. But that's the power of these little touch points, is that you stay in front of people and you stay in it, you continue to stay in their mind, so that when something does change on their side, the likelihood they're going to think of you is so much higher compared to if you don't do that. And you look at, realtors are the perfect example, right? People buy a home every 7 years. They all love their realtor when they finish that transaction, and yet only a tiny fraction of them go back and use the same realtor the next time. Why is it? Because the realtor doesn't stay in touch. The realtor doesn't know how to do it other than throw you on an email list. And the same is true for network marketers. It's a crazy, crazy thing. And just doing that simple thing well and staying in front of people and in touch with people in a loving way will cause miracles to happen in your business.
Last time I saw that convention I went to, I just looked at my contact mapping app to see
Oh,
when that convention was with Nikki, and it was in 2008, which is 12 years ago at the
yes,
Las Vegas Hilton.
yes,
That's
right.
it. I mean, can you imagine being able to Google your brain?
I know.
I mean,
My brain can't hold that much
yeah.
anymore.
So all I did, it's unbelievable. All I did was look in her contacts, and everything that I have with Nikki and her daughter and my life with Nikki is mapped. Everybody is, because I want to be able to follow up. I call her on the phone and I go, remember when we went to that convention, and she swallows her cigar because I remembered it, and we're back related. All right, we're coming back for the final segment right now.
Real quick, one last thing. We got a webinar coming up on June 4th talking about how to do social media better. Go to contactmapping.com/webinar. You don't want to miss that.
All right, done deal. We're coming back now. And we're back, final segment with the beautiful Nikki and the direct sale. What the heck's it called?
World Alliance, Direct Selling World Alliance.
Direct Selling World. It's a tongue twister for me. It always has been. If you can remember, for some crazy reason, it just doesn't come out of my mouth well. And normally things do. I talk too much, but this woman has been such an inspiration to me that it's unbelievable. And all of you, I hope that I just hope I've driven it down your throat to join this association, because it's better than so many other things for literally no money. And if you want to learn high touch combined with high tech, instead of letting technology own you, you get the chance to actually own technology. And her daughter has proved it. Nikki has proven it. And it's beautiful what you guys have accomplished. And it's basically just the beginning, correct?
It is, and just more great things to come. We're working on a lot more benefits right now too, but like 40 to 60% off on Vistaprint. We get discount at Office Max, Office Depot, 4 business books every month, 1 a week that you get new. There's just a whole list of things. When you go to that DSWA.org/membership, you'll see all the benefits right there and more coming.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
You have literally given your life to this association, this alliance, to what you do. You've had your daughter grow up in it with you. Why the heck did you do it?
Well, I don't say this very often, the whole story, but I'm going to say it to you, Tom. You know, my husband and I were both teachers, and we were very good teachers. And we built self-esteem in those children in our classroom. And we felt that some kids just didn't get it from home, so they could get it from their teacher. And then when I got started, I was expecting Grace, my baby. And when I got started in direct selling, so I could be home and raise her, and I went to teaching half time, I thought, wow, I can reach more people in my direct selling business. If I can reach those parents, we can reach, thousands of kids. So as a leader, I was really working with that to make that happen. And then when I went inside a corporation, I did that as the VP of Sales and Marketing because I could reach even more people. I knew there were more people out there that we could teach them how to be confident in themselves so they could pass that on to their children. And then I realized there are millions of people out there in this profession. How can I reach all of them? And so we decided to start the DSWA 20 years ago. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful trip. And I'm seeing what's happened. When people come to the Coach Excellence School, they say, this just wasn't for my business. This was for how I speak to my children, how my husband and our wife and I communicate. It's for my relationships. And I'm so glad I came. And by the way, we have a online coach school that's going to start June the 2nd. You can find that on the events page, dswa.org/events. But what is exciting is we can reach people in multiple countries all at one time. And we're all on the same page together, and it's interactive, and we're live on there. So I can't wait for that to happen, because we'll see people grow, and we'll see their children, their nieces and nephews. The children of the world will be stronger. So it's really all about building self-esteem in children, which happens through the adults.
And when kids have self-esteem, all of a sudden they grow up to adults with self-esteem. So what you did with your little girl was you got her to believe what you believe. And now she's grown up into this powerful woman, and she's now teaching her kids. And all of a sudden, whatever chain it was, hopefully it was, in your case, the chain was just continued on, but sometimes we need to break the chain. And what happens to us is we watch this show and we think we're watching it because we're dead broke, or we think we're watching it because we have no time, or we think we're watching it because our husband needs to do this or do that, or my wife needs to do this or do that. So you get involved with Grace and you get into this association, and all of a sudden you realize whatever problem it was that you walked in the door with got solved. And all of a sudden you're making more money, or if whatever it is. But then you realize 5 years later that you joined for the money, but what you really got out of it was you became an unbelievably better human being on all areas of your life, because that's what these guys do. They sneak up on you and fix that problem, but you stick around, and the next thing you know, all kinds of things better are going on, and all of a sudden you're a better person and you're teaching people to be better people, which creates a better planet, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's about creating community.
Yeah.
And see, I believe we have a community inside our own business, in our own town,
There you go.
inside the direct selling profession as a whole. If we all cared about other people more and focused on them, we have a time. Right now is the time to do this. People are in desperate situations that don't know what to do, and that fear has paralyzed them. And we all can step up and care about others and let them know they're not in this alone. They're not isolated. We have so many ways to communicate with others. Communication is more important now within the family and outside of the family than ever before. So take this and own it and run with it and be the best that you can be, so you can support others that they can do the same thing.
All right, man. Next week we got a great show for you too. So Nikki's been incredible. If you didn't go to that website, I'm coming to your house. So it's that simple. It's that important. DSWA.org. Go join it just right now. So thank you very much for being on. Next week, we've got this guy named Lyle and his wife, Daisy or Daly or something like that. I can't remember what it was. I saw it about 10 minutes ago. I've met these people. They are incredible people. You are going to love what they've done, and it just gets better. So everybody, we'll see you all next week on the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault and his little boy, Adrian. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks, everyone. Aloha.
Aloha. And we're clear. Nikki, you did a great job.
Oh, thanks. It looks like you're still recording, though. So we got to stop.
We're still live on Facebook. But the radio show is over. So what now? So what happens now is you can cuss, because we're not on the radio anymore.
I don't cuss.
I don't either. So here's from there on. Now this thing goes out to 550 radio stations over there at Genesis Communication Network.
Oh,
and they clip out all the contact mapping ads, and then they put that on their network on Saturday, and then it goes straight over to Adrian's podcast, which is Bad to the Bone, and it's there forever. So it feels like you just did those nauseating commercials. I am promising you this thing is a blowtorch for you forever, and we love you, right, Adrian?
Oh.
Really great job. That was so cool, Nikki. And the story about your daughter was just phenomenal. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. She's something else. And I'm telling you, her kids, what she has done with her children. She has 8 children.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Are they all in Hawaii?
All but one. One is in
cool?
school in the mainland. But everybody else is here. And she's just, I'm blessed and thankful. And my son too. I have 2 children. 2 was enough for me. But I love being a Mimi, I'm telling you.
Oh, Adrian's got 3. And that poor kid doesn't know if he's winning or losing most of the time. So I can't even imagine 8. But I'm telling you guys, and we're off air, go join her association. This is one of the good people of the profession. Never will you hear a bad thing about her. And that is crazy. So thanks a million. We love you, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks. We'll be back. Bye-bye.
All right, see